Unsure of how to decorate with white? Amanda Shields, the creative director and principal designer at Amanda Shields Interiors, joins us now with her tips to harness the color. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
For sure. So white is something that people think, it's a neutral, it's easy to decorate with, no problem, but there's lots to consider, isn't there? What do you need to consider when decorating with white?
Well, I love a nice white backdrop, so I always recommend my signature color for walls is white paint. So, but not all white paint is created equally. So there's a lot of things to consider. Undertones being, a huge one. If you have a lot of red tones in your woods and, a lot of warm tones in your decor, then you're going to want to go with a warmer white. And on the opposite, if you have a lot of grays and blues, you're going to want to go cooler.
That makes sense. As someone who's not very in tune with undertones, how do we pick those out as we're looking to decorate?
So one thing that I like to do is take a white piece of paper and just put your paint chip right on top of it, and it kind of makes the undertones pop, and you'll really be able to see it that way. I always say try before you buy as well. It doesn't hurt to put a paint swatch on your wall and kind of see throughout the day in different lighting as well where that undertone goes.
That makes sense. My apartment gets lots of light in the back, but not so much in the front necessarily. Does that change how we're going to pick out our whites?
Yes, absolutely, and that's why I recommend doing that. The brighter and more natural light that you're getting, the warmer those warm tones are going to look. So you might want to scale it back a little bit depending on the light that you get.
Definitely, and you mentioned not all paints are created equal, of course. What kinds of different finishes are there, and how does that impact our white?
So it doesn't necessarily change the color, but it'll change sort of the vibe of it. The more glossy it is, the more glammy I feel like it's gonna look.
Right.
And depending on where you're using the paint, so like on your walls, you're gonna wanna go with an eggshell finish, a bit more of a matte, same with your ceilings. But when you're thinking about high touch areas like doors, cabinetry, you're going to want to go for more like a satin finish. It's a bit more washable.
Okay,
yeah, you can wipe it down.
Those areas.
Yeah,
of course.
for sure.
I know we're decorating. You brought some wonderful samples with us today. What do we have here for decorating with white?
Well, I want to start with these paint samples that I have. I love these. This is a company called Hello Paint.
Yep.
And what you can do is go on their website. They have every color from every company. You order,
these ones down
yes,
here?
these ones right here. And what I love about them is that they're peel and stick. So you can try it on your wall, take it off, try it in a different room.
That's incredible.
Yeah, rather than, buying a quart of paint, this is just the first step before you want to do that, right? Also, when it comes to decorating, it's really important to create interest and impact with neutral color palettes in other ways because you're not using color. So you're going to want to play up texture, right? You have a lot of texture here and even pattern. So even though this is a tonal pattern, there's still a pattern there. One thing with tiles, if you have a white bathroom, this is a way to create pattern without straying away from that neutral palette. Use a little mosaic tile, and if you use a grout color that's just a little bit off-white, then it does show that pattern a little bit more.
It really pops then.
Yeah, it adds a little texture and it adds a little interest.
I guess that's another good example of texture there. And we have a couple other little marble pieces up front here too.
Yeah, so I love using marble and natural elements in white to just, create a bit more warmth. We also have this crystallized gemstone here that I love just to add a little natural element with white. And again, with these vases here that I have, again, that tone-on-tone pattern. And I'm seeing the trend really is more of a matte finish when it comes to white these days, rather than that glossy white. Yeah, I'm seeing more of these sort of rougher finishes.
Definitely lots of texture and everything, and all in the decorating with whites. We'll get all your information up online, but for now, we'll have more Morning Live for you coming up after the break.